My name is Wendy McCallum, and this is A1R Radio and Moonstruck TV. So welcome. This is my first ever show, and I must say I'm really excited to be here. But I bet you can hear my heart. It's going ding, 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 ding. So I'm absolutely really nervous as well. So please be patient with me. Please be patient with me. So thank you so much for having me. Last week we had some technical problems and we never quite managed it, but we've managed to get here this evening. So thanks for your patience. So my name is Wendy McCallum. I am in the UK. I live in a place called Surrey, which is just outside London. And you might notice I've got a little bit of an accent. I've got a wee accent, and I'm originally from Ayrshire in Scotland, which is Robbie Burns country. So I've been down in Surrey for about 30 years, but not lost the accent. So what is my show going to be about? Tell me. Well, I would like you to tell me what you want me to do. I would like to engage you. I would love to hear your stories. Really, I would love to help you understand your abilities. And, you know, where does it start, really, I suppose? How do you know you're psychic? What's the difference between psychic and mediumship? There's so many questions that when we get involved in this, it's really actually quite overwhelming, you know. So, how do you know you're psychic? Well, you know, you might just know things. You might just feel things. You might be aware of things. You might walk into a room and just know instantly there's been an argument in that room because you can feel that energy. You can feel that tension. You might have dreams. You might have lucid dreams. You might have premonitions about things. And some premonitions are okay. And other premonitions can be not so nice, you know. So, for example, you've got to be kind of careful, really, because the amount of times I've walked up to somebody and went, "Oh, congratulations." And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Well, you're pregnant." And they're like, No, I'm not. And you're like, "Oh, okay." And then 2 days later, you get a phone call. So you've got to be really careful with things. You might find that you're a good judge of character, or you get gut feelings about things, or you just feel things on a really deep level. And sometimes that's quite hard because as an empath, that's what that is when you feel things on a real deep level, and you know, when you connect, with other people. It can be quite hard because I got to a point where I just don't watch. I find it very difficult to watch the news or the TV, and I would love to hear your stories. So write in and tell me about these things. Do you find that you're like this, that you feel things on a deep level, that you find things really upsetting, or you get really over emotional and you think, "Oh my goodness, why am I getting so emotional about that?" So, you know, is everybody psychic? Can everybody be psychic? Well, yes, everybody can be psychic. And yes, everybody can be intuitive because everybody's got intuition. And you use that intuition. And then you say to me, "Well, Wendy, if I'm psychic, what do you do with it?" And that's the hard bit, you know, is do you then decide to develop that or not? And what's the difference between psychic and mediumship? Well, when my clients come to me for a reading, I explain it this way. Psychic is about you. It's about me connecting in with your energy. And that's if your energy allows me to connect with it. Whereas mediumship is not necessarily about connecting to you, although we do need you to be able to connect to those loved ones in the spirit world. So psychic's about you and mediumship's about connecting to the loved ones in spirit. And then we've got, you know, I talk about mediumship as being mental mediumship. I don't really like that word, mental mediumship, because we're not mental, but it's because it comes through the mind. So how do we develop these abilities that we've got, or what should we do, when we start feeling things or seeing things, and when does it happen and who does it happen to? And, for me, my psychic ability kind of kicked in my early 20s. And I remember I was actually in the car, and I'd been clubbing, been partying the night before, and I was taking some friends home, and I was driving on the motorway, and I was in the fast lane, and I was doing about 60, 70 miles an hour. And all of a sudden I heard really, really clearly, get into the crash position. And I was like, what? And I heard it again, get into the crash position. And I said to my passengers, get into the crash position. And they went, what? And they looked at me like I was crazy. I went, just do it. And I put my hand over my head. I think that's because I was driving. And my passengers put their hands over their heads. And if they hadn't have done that, we wouldn't have been alive, because literally within split seconds, the car that was in the lane beside us had come out and clipped us and then sent us into the central reservation. The car hit the central reservation, spun back, spun the other way, hit something, spun back, hit the other way. So it spun 3.5 times, ended up facing the wrong way on the motorway. And actually the back seat was metal. The back seat had snapped in half with the impact. All the tyres had completely blown out and were non-existent. And the front of the car was actually hanging out the front. So there really wasn't much left of the vehicle at all. And we managed to get to safety in the Spirit. And then I heard you've left the engine on. So I switched the engine off because I had a full tank of petrol. And we seemed to walk between the traffic across the other side of the road, and that was when I collapsed. And I had a suspected broken back and broken neck. So we were really, really lucky that I heard my guide, and that was when the first time that I heard Emily, my guide. So we've got different guides for different things. So you've got guides and guardian angels, okay? So your guides, guides will come and go, depending on learning curves, learning experiences, and what you've got to learn and what you're going through at that time. And guides will come to support you. But you've got guardians, or guardian angels, as some people call them, and those guardians are with you from birth, are with you even before you're conceived, as you come into this world. And those guardian or guardian angels are with you through life. And normally guides cannot intervene in life, but I believe guardian angel can, because Emily did that day. So that's one of my stories. I've got lots of stories. Like, if you want to tell me about your stories, please write in and tell me all about them. In fact, we'll get you on the show and you can tell everybody else about your experiences and stuff. So if you want to get in touch with me, get in touch with me at Facebook, which is Wendy McCallum Medium on Facebook, or Wendy McCallum at hotmail.com. So tell me your stories about your guides and your guardian angels. Okay, so how do you develop this ability? So what you've got to do then is you have to build a rapport. It's like a friendship that you build with your spirit team. And the more that you take time to get to know them, the more that they are able to get to know you and work with you, and then the more familiar you become with them. So we've all got different abilities. Some people might hear more, or some people might see more or feel more. So these psychic abilities are called the clair abilities. And we've got clairvoyance, which means clear seeing, clairaudience, which is clear hearing, clear sentience is clear feeling, clear cognizance is clear knowing, and empathy is what we feel. So when we talk about seeing things, it's not external, it's not outside, it's internal, it's inside your head. Normally, very occasionally do you see spirit in full form, or very occasionally do you see things external, or very occasionally will you hear an external voice. But normally it's internal. So if you can imagine, do me a favour, just sit there for a moment, quieten your mind, and just think about your front door. Visualise your front door. What colour is it? Where's the letterbox? What is it? Now that's how you see things inside your head. So I'm aware that I've kind of prattled on a little bit here, or I've been talking quite a bit, yeah. So maybe next week we can begin to talk about the clairs or a little bit more. And then maybe you can call in if you've got questions that you want to ask me about your abilities, or tell me stories that's happened or whatever. Now, exciting stuff. I'm going to be at MBS London, which is a Mind Body Spirit event at Olympia, London. That's this weekend from Friday to Monday. I'm going to be installed D9, that's D for Delta, number 9. And I'm going to be showing all my artwork. So this is some of my artwork behind me here, yeah. And I'm going to be there. So come along and say hello. And if you come on my Facebook page, follow me on Facebook at Wendy McCallum Medium, I will be putting a voucher code so that you can get a little bit of a discount on your entry fee at Mind Body Spirit. So, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody, I thank you so much for taking the time to sit with me this evening. And I would like you to tell me what you want from me in future shows. I would love to bring in people to talk to you, to talk about different things, healing, crystals, Reiki, counselling, things like that. So please get in touch with me, Wendy McCallum Medium at hotmail.com. Take care, have a fantastic week, yeah, and I will see you next week. Sending you much love and blessings. Take care, God bless.